Good evening and welcome to week 10 review already, Craig. How's it going?
Week 10, Johnny. 10 weeks. There's only 4 weeks of regular season to go. Getting to the nitty gritty already. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, thanks. Good to see you with your voice back a bit. And
Yeah, a little bit. It's back a bit now. I can certainly
yeah,
speak now.
that's good then, because obviously we'll get the games up, but obviously your games first, and I'm sure you'll want to talk a lot about that one.
Well, it was a bit of a. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm going to cough quite a bit through this. I'm afraid. Just the way I'm feeling at the moment. But yeah, so yeah, I got an absolute spanking in the end. I mean, do you know what this game taught me more than anything, Johnny? This game taught me how touchdown dependent Show Me the Money really is. I mean, Stevenson done all right. He got 77 yards, but he didn't score. Achan done all right. He got 52 yards. He didn't score. Thomas done badly, but Hawkinson done well. 72 yards, didn't score. Taylor done great. He got 100 odd yards, didn't score. And that's and it's the didn't score part. That coupled with the Eagles defense going off in one against Dallas and getting 20 points. And I mean, yeah, it's I got exactly what I thought I was going to get in the week, and that was a right good bloody nose. Goff throwing 5 interceptions obviously was a little bit worrying. And Ridley having a really good game is a bit of a waste, really. I'm hoping that will carry on. But yeah, I got what I deserved. I got exactly what I expected to get. And great win for Graham. That puts him. That's him in the playoffs, 100% now. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. And his team's going really well. So it's going to take a good one to stop him.
Yeah, but I didn't imagine it was going to be 81 to 124 though. Even for quite a lot of the game, it looked pretty close, but they seemed to run away at some point. But well, Kyler Murray,
It was a
29
touch.
points. Yeah.
It was the touchdowns, Johnny. It was, yeah. I mean, as you say, in the 6 o'clock, Stevenson was going along fine. Hawkinson was doing fine. Taylor was going really well, and but then he landed his touchdowns. I think McLaurin scored pretty close to Cook, pretty close to Pierce, and they all ran away to say, they all kind of done it, or Cook and Pierce, and he just disappeared into the distance. And then of course
Right.
Kyler Murray came out and had a game against New York Jets later on, and
Yeah.
that was that really. I knew I had Goff still to come, but kind of Goff and Achan I had later on. The two late games, so it padded my score somewhat. I was away down at 60 for a long time, but yeah, I mean it's a great week for Graham, and I'm now 6-4, and I've got to be looking over my shoulder. There's no way I'm not, because I've still got 3 hard games to play in the last 3 weeks. So I've got Mark this week, and if I was to lose to Mark this week, I'd be pretty worried going into the 3 divisional games, owning them or not.
I know it's been
Might
pretty
off.
crazy after the start you had as well, though. So, but like
Yeah,
you
I
say,
mean,
it's a funny
I'm
game.
just kind of hit that wall at the moment. I mean, it's a testament to my team, Johnny. It's a fine team. It's a competitive team, but it's not a great team. It's not a championship winning team unless they start scoring more in the playoff weeks, which is what I'm hoping for, obviously.
Well, I think it was like could do that. Also, obviously, we've got the back should be trust 102 points to 8 points against 61.38 for the Tartan Bears. That's a 4-game losing streak for Joe and a 2-game win streak for Doug. I think it gets him above you
Well, I
as
mean,
well. So,
well, it doesn't
yeah.
get him above me. I've got him on head to head, but it certainly puts him in line with me. And this is him. This is him making his move now, isn't it? He made his trades for Hutz and Kelsey, and they look very smart trades. And certainly they've began that way. Although we'll see this week that Hutz didn't do quite what he would have liked this week. But yeah, 100 points for the first time I think this year for Doug. And his team just seems to be growing into it now. That's without Jacobs, it's without Lockett, it's without Collins, who should be back this week. So he's certainly got the options there as well now, and he's turned himself into a title challenging team. It's you would be pointing if he isn't in the shout now after but he's made his moves. He's paid for it again, and it's one of those ones where we'll see what what he gets in the playoffs. He paid for Mahomes last year and they got absolutely nothing out of him. So we'll see what Hurts gives them in the playoffs, which is when it's going to matter. But I can't see Doug not making the playoffs now, and that's what worries me a little bit as well. It's another one of those 4 wild card spots taken away.
Definitely. And Joe's team just, well, yeah, Swift, Adams, Davis, bit of a
It's a long
busted
way for
flush.
Joe now. I mean, he knew he was getting hammered this game the whole way. You know, he was never really in this one at all. And it's, you know, he's 4-6 now. The winning really has to start now, but he's not getting a whole lot out of Stroud.
No.
Swift seems to be slowing down a little bit. I mean, when was the last time Chicago scored? Has it not been like something silly like 30 odd drives since they've scored a touchdown?
Or something stupid like that. It was probably Swift was the last one as well. But yeah,
I'm sure
they're
they'll
no
start it
pretty.
this weekend against them.
And Adams is, you know, yeah.
It's you know it's not that they've not been great at it at all, and that's been a massive problem for them. So I would think it's a problem for Joe. And at 4-6, he's going to need to start winning now. So it's a long way to playoffs for Joe.
Definitely. He's got some of the players if they show up, that's the thing. Well, his bench isn't much good, but the Jets' defence is just gone up a cliff.
I mean,
And they were real good at the start, but
he's got a team
stick
that
with
can
the
be
Bears.
competitive, but yeah, it's a team that's more often than not going to score you 60, 70 points as opposed to, kind of 100, 110 points, which is where you really need to be to be winning on a regular basis. But that's not to say he can't get into a wee win and run, He just needs them to start. Stroud especially, it has to start with Stroud. Stroud needs to start doing something for him.
Yeah, he needs to be stop getting sacked all the time and getting hammered. But they get Nico Collins back because will certainly help him.
And that's Doug, though. We don't need Doug being helped.
The second highest score of the week, the Factory of Sadness, 120.84 against the Batman's Boobies, 69.12. So obviously Ray's got McCaffrey back, and he came in gentle, but obviously didn't do too much. Better for PPR than non-PPR, got 10 points.
He didn't score was the thing, yeah, he didn't score.
Same again, Kittle got a touchdown, nobody else scored any touchdowns.
And that's where the problem lies. I mean, Ray's done really well to get himself to 4 and get McCaffrey back. And you think at that point, you're thinking, yeah, that it's here he goes. And then he hits the wall a little bit, which is a shame, but he did run into a tough division again with, and playing against Sean and Sean's dream team. But yeah, I mean, it's at 4-6. I mean, he's not out of it. Much like Joe, he's not out of it. But there's so many holes in the team that it's a long way to the playoffs now. But far from it, as you say, there is still 4 weeks to go. There's still 4 games to play for, and if you can win all 4, you're in the playoffs. It's that simple. But yeah, for Sean, it's another 120-point outing. It's that's with Metcalf out, with Tillman out, with Njoku still to come back, no Pittman. So the team effectively picked itself. His whole entire bench didn't play, or Hill did. But I mean, it's a dream team now, and it's a dream team trying to defend the title. So it's someone's going to need to step up, in the playoffs if we're not going to have back to back. But there's certainly the potential is certainly there. I mean, remember, Henry didn't have a great game this week for 13 points. Jones wasn't outstanding. Mooney wasn't outstanding. This win came from Chase's 44 points. And if Chase can continue to do that, and the Bengals are chasing now, the Bengals are chasing the playoffs. So they've got a long way to go to get the playoffs. They're going to be playing out right the way through. They're going to be playing hard. So yeah, things are looking very good for Sean.
Then we've got the Varsity Blues changed my life, 59.84 up against the Copenhagen Jets. So Mark bounced back with a nice 67.84, not the highest score, better than mine, but it's a win. Gets them to 4-6. Goes Grote a bit closer to 5-5. So Bijan Robinson with 2 touchdowns and 116 yards certainly helped that cause. And obviously Ricky Pearsall getting 13 points for his even touchdown. And obviously they've lost Harrison Butker. So I hope he's picked up a kicker for this week.
Yeah, I'm sure he has because he's playing me.
And
No one
that
forgets
was
when
a
they're playing me.
1 point for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers and Wilson, his stack there's becoming a problem is a problem for him. But I mean, this is a good win, and as you say, the wins came from Bijan and Pearsall doing what they've done against Grote's team, really doing absolutely nothing for him. And you know, Mark's we say it every year. Mark, he hangs about like a bad smell. He really does, and he's thereabouts. And if he gets himself in, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So I'm up against him this week, and at 4 and I was really hoping Grote was going to beat him this week, so his wouldn't be caring so much next week, you know, because he would be thinking he was out of it. But now he's thinking he's got a good shout, and so he should, you know. A good one that keeps him going. So we'll see how he does this week. Grote, you know, it's just so hard to watch. You know, like Javonte Williams started the season very well, jumping away fine, you know, doing okay, and then all of a
He's
sudden
almost a
he's getting
backup now.
absolutely nothing. And Estime's jumped out, you know, so he's got Tank Dell's just been such a disappointment this whole entire season. So is Jordan Addison, and but they've got so much potential that they could light at any time. You know, Hopkins is going to do fine there. He would have been disappointed with what he got out of him at the weekend there. The Bills D get him 19 points, nearly got him back up there, you know. But I mean, he was missing a lot of players this week. Let's not forget again another
Yeah,
team
he's
that was
missing
picked for it
Madison, Walker.
by itself. Everyone on the bench was out this week. You know, he had no Myers, no Matheson, no Walker, Charbonnet, or Coleman being out. You know, so he'll get all of them back this week, and or a lot of
Well,
them
no
back this week
Coleman,
anyway. Maybe not Coleman.
but
But
yeah.
you know, so it goes again this week. The team is absolutely fine. As far as I'm aware, he's not done any trading this week, but I've not been really following so much this week, so I don't know. But
No,
as
I
far
think
as I'm aware,
it's
he's
been a
not.
quiet week this week. After last week, it's been very quiet. I don't have any trades yet. But you know, it's still on the
So
Saturday night, so you never know.
5-5, he's in a favourites position to make the playoffs. So we'll see how he goes.
Just depends how
4
he does
weeks
in
to
the
go.
division, basically. He's got the hard division the last 3 games to go with. So the boys
He
are back
does.
in
But you
town,
know,
going back to the losing streak again. So they're 2 losses in a row, 54.38 up against the Eskimo brothers, getting 90.20. It's a nice score for Sean. Gets them up to 3 and 7. So it was a battle of the bottom 2, I think. There was it not? 3 and 1 and 9.
it was battle of the bottom two, and you know, Ross is back to, as you say, you know, the team's just not been there for him this year. It's been one of those. It's been an off year. He's looking towards next year now for sure. Obviously, he's still looking to try and do something in the consolations. There's a wee money prize for it, and of course, the big carrot of the number one pick. So he'll be looking to try and put something together. And you know, Tua's back, and he's not looking brilliant, but he's not looking awful. He's through a touchdown pass. You know, got another touchdown pass to Tyreek. You know, if Tua can start going again, Spears is now back. Warren's starting to go a little bit. Legette's going to be the number one in Carolina. So, you know, there are things happening there for Ross's team. It's not been great. It wasn't great this week. But, you know, he's got players there that can do a little bit of damage. And as for Sean, I mean, he's still, you know, Sean makes a late run every year, Johnny, doesn't he? It's every single year he's the
Well,
one that
that's the
makes a late
thing.
run.
Obviously, Tank Bigsby's out, so Etienne's the number one running back this week. Kincaid's out, so you need to pick up a tight end. But George Pickens up against that Ravens defense that can't catch a long pass anywhere, so he should be okay there. Well, they do have Hamilton back, I think. But yeah, and Hubbard's looking awesome, to be honest. Like,
I mean, here starts his late run again, you know, so he's now 3 and 7. If he can win 4 in a row, he's got every chance of getting in. He's going to have to pick up a tight end because he's not got one on his bench. But you
no,
know,
he'll get Evans
if he
back
can
soon.
win 4 in a row, that's got a good shout of making it at 7 and 7 this year, I would think. So, and Evans isn't a million miles from being back, is he?
No, that'll be a good one to get back in his team. Probably a bit of time when
So
I
he
play
might
him.
have that option as well soon. So yeah, things are certainly looking up for Sean. The question is it too little, too late, or has he got a genuine shout of getting in? We'll find that out in the weeks to come.
Then up next, we've got the Blue Team Patriots, who are now 4 and 6, 67.28 against the Scheme Team, 118.30 for Allen, who are 5 and 5. So it's a 2-game win streak, so a good win for Allen.
Yeah, great win for Alan here, and it's a
Lamar.
bad loss for Chris. But the only saving grace for Chris is it was a divisional sweep this week, so none of it has Division One. But yeah, great win for Alan. Lamar on Thursday night, obviously lighting it up, and I mean it's so soul destroying for Chris. You know, when you see that on the other side. And on a Thursday night, you wake up on Friday morning and you've got absolutely, you're just gutted because you know that your week's over already and it's not even started yet. But what can you do? You know, you just need to try and convince yourself that you've still got a chance. But I mean, it was one on Thursday night for Alan. You know, yes, Connor and Eckler backed him up very, very well, and
And
Sutton.
Sutton.
Eckler's obviously got Robinson back now, so that's going to hurt him a little bit there. But
Well, not
yeah,
really. He outscored Robinson on Thursday night. Well, he did on PPR, and I'm not sure about non-PPR, but he had
yeah, it
better
was
scoring than him. So
first game back for Robinson, though, wasn't it, after a few weeks off? But yeah, I mean, as long as he's scoring, he's going to be getting the touches. So it won't it's not like he's going to fall off a cliff or anything.
no, it was all catches. Most of his runs were the runs for Robinson.
But yeah, for Alan, it's very much game on. He's now 5-5, 4 weeks to go. You know, if he can win two of them, he's got a good shout. If he can win three of them, he's definitely in. So yeah, he might be signing off with a trip to. Might be signing off with a trip to the playoffs yet. And as
Yeah,
for Chris, it's. I mean, he's 4-6, so he's not dead. He's not out of it. Far from it. As we'll
it's a
see in the next
4-game
couple of
losing
games
streak
as
though.
well. He's
So
well in his well in the division still. Even he's still in the divisional chase. But it's going to be tough from where he's Flacco's now out. So from Flacco being a quarterback, it's now back to Richardson again. I hope he has
yeah,
still got Richardson on the
he
bench. He's
has.
still
He's
sitting
still
here in
he's
next
still got
year.
Richardson. He'll get T Higgins back this week, but
Will I
obviously he's
get T
lost
Higgins back
Laporta.
this week?
He's lost Laporta, lost Bigsby, but he's got Singletary. Has he not? No, he's got Tucker and Mason.
I just don't see what you said of it, of any that Brown's going to be and Brooks is going to be this year. I just don't see him getting. With the way Hubbert's going, I don't see them risking putting Brooks in. You know, they'll give him some touches maybe just to get him acclimatised to the NFL, but I don't think they'll give him any major games, major carries. So that's a
No,
bit of a
no,
bust for him there as well. So yeah, it's a long way to the playoffs for Chris, but certainly not dead, not out of it. And Alan, I would say he's a favourite. In fact, I would imagine that he's 5-5's probably got him holding one of the spots at the moment, but we'll see that
I
soon enough.
just I think he's maybe sitting
In
at
fact, it
eight.
has his number 8.
But that don't know if that takes into account the playoff spots. We'll figure it in a minute. So Alan, the Kirkwall Raiders, 76.22 up against their regular season champions. They were in a pair 81.56. It was close game all the way here. So a 5-game win streak for Michael, and that's Alan's first loss there. So it's 6-4 to 8-2. So yeah. And they done it with Drake.
The scary thing is, this is a floor week for Michael. You know, this is a floor week. He's 80 odd points, whatever it is. That's about as low as he's going to go any given week. You know.
And that's his kicker was missing everything as well, but still managed to score 5 points.
Yeah, what's happened to Koo? He just seems to be missing more and more and more, doesn't he? He used to be absolutely unmissable. He used to have everything. But
Well,
yeah, I
it's the
mean, it was a
same
slow
with
week.
Tucker as well. He's missed a lot this year. And that's with Taysom Hill getting like 2 catches. One was for a touchdown to get him 8 points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it was a slow week for Michael this week. You know, Kamara not finding the end zone, Hill finding the end zone, but not doing much else. You know, Smith not doing anything, Conquo not doing anything. Mixon done well again as he always does, but I mean that's as low as it's going to be, as you say. You know, his running back options are just crazy, and
yeah, no one's on the bench. You'll get Bowers back as well.
the weakness he's got now is at quarterback, isn't it? And that Drake Mays, that's where you can see it kind of maybe faltering a little bit for Michael as we head towards the playoffs, because that's what we've got to start looking for now. Is how's he going to blow at the playoffs, isn't it?
Well, it could be
As
not
for
picking up a quarterback.
as for Alan, it's I mean, again, he got the week off to a great start. He'd have been delighted waking up on Friday morning with 38 points from Borough again and thinking, "Yep, I'm in with a good shout of beating Michael here." But It just didn't
Nobody else
happen.
turned up.
You know, no, that's it. No one else turned up. I mean, Brees Hall, such a disappointment. CD Lamb, that must have been his two keepers, such a disappointment. And it's been a disappointment all season. So it's very testament to him that he's 6-4 and top of the division. When Hall and Lamb, his two keepers, haven't exactly turned it on this year, you know. But I mean, when you look when you look at both teams, look at the options that they've both got. I mean, you can see why Michael's won the game, and you can see why Le'Veon and a prayer are certainly more favoured towards the chances of winning the Super Bowl. And I would say Kirkwall Raiders, but that doesn't mean that Allen's got no chance. You know, he's got a great chance if he can get. Obviously, he's got Robinson back this week, and no doubt has plugged him in because he's not going to play Rodriguez when Robinson's playing.
No, and he got a
But
touchdown.
yeah.
You know.
It's I think both teams will make playoffs and they might end up facing each other once more. We'll see. But a
And
good
of
one
course,
for Michael.
the biggest shock of the season, apart from when Ross beat me, the Madhouse G-Men 52.72 against the Heinz 52.18. That was not a pretty win, that one. But I don't know how his dream team only scores 52 points.
It's the curse of the early picks, Johnny. It happens that every person who gets the early picks, it ends up going Petey Tong somewhere along the way. No one's actually ever entered the draft with all the picks and actually went on and won the title. And it's, I mean, again, at 4-6, Graham's not out the playoff chase, and he's got the team to do some damage in the playoffs. If he can just get himself there, you know, he's just got to get himself there. And he does have a good run of last 3 games, obviously, with the division. They're all kind of beatable in the sense that Allen at 6-4 being top of it and Graham's tied for second. So he's far from out of it, but he's going to be so disappointed that just nothing's happening. And even this game, he was so, what was it? You had Stafford and he had Williams, Cup
and somebody, who were they playing?
Was it Mostert that he still had at that? Yeah, Mostert.
Yeah.
Williams Cup against your Stafford, and it was only about a 10-point difference you had.
Well, he was actually leading until the final drive, and Stafford threw the ball to Nakua, Robinson to get to the field goal, and that won the game. Because Stafford had a mare, but because
it's only 52 points.
Yeah,
it's only 52 points is a bigger issue than the actual loss. You know, again, you know, you've got Harrison there with 11 points sitting on the bench, which would have made a difference, but it's just difficult when you've got those options to pick the right ones. Obviously, Zay Flowers didn't show up. Poor week from his running backs, and it might be time to swap out Daniels again for Mahomes. And you know, I don't know, but certainly, it must be so frustrating for Graham this year. I feel his pain because I felt it last year. I seen it happening to my team last year, and it's not fun to watch. But Johnny, you're still in the hunt, 5-5.
I don't know how my team is fucking awful, like, but it's just. Yeah, I'll get Pacheco back soon, so that's one thing. But yeah,
and you've got Gino coming back, you've got Dubs back. You know, it's when you're winning. Gibbs is the secret weapon. If McLaughlin could start getting just a few more touches for you, you just need one more player just to kind of really swing it on. You know.
Well, Pacheco will be back in 2 weeks, so he'll be taking over from McLaughlin. But
of course,
yeah, Shakira Robinson's out this week. Coker's out this week, but yeah, I don't have Gino anymore. Alan picked him up.
There are still some very big bye weeks to come. I think is it week 12 or week 14? One of the two has 6 teams out.
Well, week 14 has like the Ravens and the Commanders
and the Bengals.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of
the Bengals are week 12.
Going to be out.
I think week 12 with the Bengals, but yeah.
There's some big bye weeks still to come.
So the fact the North, you've got the Factory of Sadness at 7-3. You've got Showing the Packers at 6-4, ahead of the Baxter We Trust 6-4, and the Varsity Blues 5-5. Got the Kirkwall Raiders in the South at 6-4. They're ahead of the Blue Team Patriots and the Hide and Zeke, both 4-6. And then you've got the Boys are back in town at 1-9. The East, you've got Hearts Flying Eagles got a 4-game lead, 8-2 over the Tartan Bears, Cooking Badley Jets, and the Batman's Booby, all 4-6. Then in the West, you've got the Lebanon Prayer have got a 3-game lead over the Scheme Team, 5-5, Madhouse Jima 5-5, and obviously the Eskimo Brothers at 3-7.
So, I mean, 5-5 holds playoff spots, and it holds playoff spots right up to what is it? There's 6 teams with winning record, and 2 5-5s in the playoffs. So it's still all to play for. Even the 3-7, the 3-7 Sean's team, Sean can still get in. He's only 2 games behind, and it's 2 games behind 2 spots. So it's absolutely wide open, everything to play for. And these last 4 weeks are huge. Really, only Ross is the only one that's not in it. And you would say that Farks and Le'Veon and a Prayer are obviously in the playoffs already. And well, Farks has got the title wrapped up now. The East Division, that's in the bank now, isn't it? He can't be caught. 4 games, 4 wins.
Yeah, I think he's 3-0 in the division as
on
well. So.
Count back, so I guess he could lose it count back, but yeah. So 3 teams, only 3. Everybody, 13 teams have still got so much to play for before weeks to go. And this is the last week before we go into the run around the divisions again. So this is a big week. You want to get that win before you go and play the big boys.
The Hearts Flying Eagles are 3-0 in the division, so basically, I think they won the division.
Yeah, so they've got the division wrapped up. So yeah, great for Graham, great for Michael. They can rest easy. Sean can probably rest easy, and the rest of us have got a sweat on.
So this is the start after Thursday night. So Graham's got a nice wee start, 38 points, and that's from Saquon Barkley and Tenerife McLaurin get 1 point, but the Eagles defense getting 6. But getting 31 points off Barkley was pretty impressive when he got most of that in the space of 3 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Grote's going to be absolutely gutted at the start for this week, and at 5-5, he really does need to find a way. And with the run in that he's got, the 3 games that he's got Doug, he's got myself, and he's got Sean. So they're 3 hard games. Obviously, Graham's an even harder game than that at 8-2, but Grote's going to need to win 2 of these last 4 if he's going to have a shout at getting into the playoffs. And it won't be easy, but he has got a decent enough side, and he's not started yet, so you never know. But yeah, Graham heavy favourite.
He's got all the big boys in, so he's dropped all the bad ones. Yeah, it's good. You're certainly got an uphill struggle with that start, even though Graham's had 3 players play.
Uphill battle for sure.
31 points out of Barkley. And obviously, Doug's got a nice start against Ray, but it's going to be a close one.
Well, it's pure luck now, isn't it? Because it's auto-botted, so Mister, I can't get in. I can't see the site. I can't see the site. I can't see the site.
Technically,
blah 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 blah.
His team hasn't changed. Yeah, I mean that's a team he probably would have played anyway.
He'll be playing Nico Collins will be in that starting team before some games kick off. You better believe that. But yeah, he's had a good start again. It's
the only difference here is that he would not have played Zach Ertz or have probably Travis Kelce. So Thursday night made no difference.
No, he wouldn't have. No, he wouldn't have. No,
hopefully he gets in before Sunday.
He'll tell you he would have though. He'll tell you he would have. But yeah, his stack's not done him great this week, and it'll do much better than that, obviously, as the season goes on. But it's not been a great start for him this week. At the same time, he's playing Ray's Batman's Boobies, who's on a wee bit of a losing streak now, on the way back down, maybe. But they do have McCaffrey back, and hopefully there to do big things. His problem is, he's kind of Rashawn Johnson having to hold down a spot still, and he's just not even seen the field at the moment. DJ
the thing with Rashawn Johnson, he has been getting the ones if they get to near the end zone. He's been the one that's been getting the ball. Because most of his points have been with touchdowns this year. They have like 2 carries for 5 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's been
So
getting, but even at that, when they're getting down there, Swift's still getting the first option. He's kind of coming in if Swift doesn't get it done in the first down type thing, you know. But yeah,
that's not hard because
I
Swift
mean,
isn't a
I've got him in
first-time
a few
goal.
places, and I'm still trying to roll the dice for him because I do still think he might get some action out of him. And the Packers are not good at defending the run, so every chance he could get something out of him this game. So it's tight. I mean, it's not been the best start for Doug in the sense that he has got 22, 23 points, but it is from his quarterback and his main wide receiver. So you know,
Yes.
it's if it goes that slow for them with the rest of the players, then Ray's got every chance at getting the win there, and boy, would I love that.
Well, not as good a start as Coffin Bradley Jets have had against yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's I can't say
Who
I'm
was that?
complaining. You know, it's
Oh,
obviously
Nichols.
helping
Yeah.
me out massively. He
Well, it is
got that
Nick,
from McNichols, yeah.
Nichols.
So I mean,
So did you?
it effectively gives me a free shot at Ramondre Stevenson, doesn't it? In the end,
Yeah.
it's he's still got his kicker in there, Butker's to be replaced, so I'm sure that will happen tomorrow at some point. But I mean, I've got to fancy my chances of winning the game, but anything can happen, and as I say, I always say it. Mark's one of these guys who seems to find players at the right week at the right time on the right week, you know, and he gets a turn out of them. So I'm far from counting my chickens here, but it's one that I feel like if I don't win, I'm going to be struggling to make the playoffs.
Yeah. So next, I've got the Tartan Bears, got 6-point lead of the Factory of Sadness. I can't imagine that'll be enough, to be honest, but you never
Yeah, no,
know.
I can't
Who's
see
it
either.
6
And
points
again,
from?
this is the problem that these
Got
teams
it.
have got as well. That you've kind of got Graham, who's already won the division effectively and got it ticked. He's the one that's got Grotty this week. So the other three have got hard games against myself, Sean, and Doug. And when they really need a win, you know, they could be doing with playing any other division. But hey ho, this is where they're at. And you know, 6 points for Goddard isn't bad. It's not terrible. It's not going to hurt. That doesn't hurt. That's a par.
Not for a tight end. It's pretty good, actually, for a tight end, but yeah.
When you look at
So,
the other side and you see what you're playing against, it's you feel like it's not enough, and I'm sure Joe feels like it's not enough.
yeah, I thought Mooney was injured, but it doesn't seem to be a designation now, so he must be okay. But I
Yeah,
think he
no,
got injured
I
in
haven't seen
training.
anything on that.
No, there was something a couple of days ago, but he's obviously okay. But yeah, you got to imagine that Sean's
Yeah,
going to
so
win
I
that
mean,
one and go 8-3.
it looks like. I mean, you can't see anything but a win for the Factory of Sadness. But you know, stranger things have happened, and Tartan Bears need a win from somewhere. You know, so they'll be hoping that something happens, something funky happens, and they find it.
And you got Levy and a prayer up against Hyde and Zeke. So obviously Graham would love to get this one, but
I mean, when you're
it'll be
desperate
tough.
for a win, it's the regular season champions in an 8-2 team is on a 5-game win streak. It's not who you want to be seeing at the other side. And Graham really does need a win. You know, I keep saying it, this team can be dangerous when it gets to the playoffs. If it can get to the
It's
playoffs,
Saturday
and this
Daniels.
might be the week that it shows it. You know, when he turns out and he gives Le'Veon and a player an absolute spanking, you could absolutely see it happening. But it's not off to the best of starts. He's only got 12.44 out of Daniels again. It's not terrible,
But
but
then
it's not good.
there's a good chance that May only gets even less than that. Again, so
Correct,
that's the thing
correct.
with that one. But then you've
You
got
know,
your number 2 wide receiver getting 2 points. You've got to think that
yeah, that's not a
Thomas will
great
get more
start for
than that.
Michael.
Cup's got a hard matchup. Williams got a it's the
Yeah, I mean
matchups in this one.
it's an absolute 50. It's a 50-50 coin. It's a coin toss. This one it really is. And as I said, you know that this is the type of game that Graham turns round and he scores 125 points and gives Le'Veon and a player a right good bloody nose and announces his intentions.
I
You
think he's
know,
going to have to
you can
score that.
easily see it happening. So it's a big game. This one this week. It's a big game for Graham, and it's one to follow because it's going to be interesting to see what way it lands.
I know. I think he's going to have to score about that. That's the problem. You got the Blue Toon Patriots having to come off the market against the Eskimo Brothers, getting 8 points. Would that be defense or kicker? Kicker. So they've got 8 points from Jake Elliott. Would have got a lot more if he kept on missing field goals and extra points.
Yeah. It's but 8 points is no bad. It's fine from the kicker. Again, it's at least par. It's not any worse than par. But
So this is going to be the battle of no tight ends.
they'll need to get to agency and
Bigsby needs
Bigsby
to
out
get
as
picked
well.
up.
So we'll see if Chris has waved the white flag already. I mean, he shouldn't be at 4-6. He's only one game shy of the playoffs, and with the likes of Higgins and Wilson's doing fine at quarterback. You've got Higgins there, you've got Jeffries there. Downs is,
Yeah.
that long ball might come into play again now. Richardson's back in, so I mean he's got options there. That he's not dead, he's not out of it, and I wouldn't be giving up if I were Chris, not yet. But
No.
certainly he will need
Russell
to
Wilson
change that
against that
team if
Ravens
he's.
defense.
He really needs to find the win here. And as we say, Sean's on the march, isn't he? He's on he's on his usual end of season roll. So we'll see if he can find the second one in a row here and keep himself right in it.
Yeah. I've just got some over my back. That's per usual. Then you've got Allen, gets a nice start. Well, 9 points. Well, from his running back. So you've got 9 points from Eckler. Yeah, so Eckler had 89 receiving yards on Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean it's
not much rushing, but receiving.
It's a good start. It's a good start. It's a decent start for Allen, especially when you're playing against a 1-9 team. You take 9.6 points from your running back in that position, especially with Robinson coming back in. So I mean, it's Allen should get the win here, and if he does, it makes him heavy favourite for making playoffs with 3 weeks to go. It's looking good for him. He's got Connor out, so he's got to replace him. He's brought Estime in, which is a good
Well,
option.
but estimate that was a good one.
So it's looking very good for Allen. He's heavy favourite to win the game, and if he wins the game, then he's heavy favourite to make the playoffs with 3 weeks to go.
Yeah. And Mr. Sim saying that I was going to fall for the same honey trap as Graham did to old mind games. Gets a nice wee 13-point start from his running back. Who was it?
I mean, this is a big
Brian
one for
Robinson.
that. This is a big one for Allen in the sense that if Allen wins this one and Graham loses and Chris loses, then the division's over before he hits the divisional matches. So he can relax and enjoy them. If he loses this one and Graham and Chris both win, or even one of them wins, then there's only a 1 game difference there, and they've got to play each other yet. So all to play for. So Allen will be looking at this game as a kind of let's just get
if
it
he
done now.
loses
This
this
is a
one, I'll
must
be
win.
getting. If he loses this one, I'll be getting a lot of abuse on my phone. Even though I've done nothing wrong, because I expect to lose.
Well, we'll see what
He's
happens.
already been going on about in private chat, but yeah, but no, yeah, I'm basically playing the only team I can play, so that's the way it goes.
That's it exactly. So you're throwing it out there and say you got to see what happens. But I think Gibbs has got a great game this week against Jacksonville. Dubs has got a good game against Chicago. Shakir's
Shakir's got a
got
good one
you've got to
against
think.
Kansas City, but
I think
it's
it's a good game though, because you've got to think that that's going to be a slobber knocker right there. So Stafford against New England. I guess it depends what the weather's going to be like in Boston tomorrow night. But yeah, I mean, and I don't think you're as heavy second favourite as you think. I think you're second favourite, but it's tighter than you think. Especially with Lamb getting absolutely. Who's throwing to Lamb? What's throwing to Lamb? Knox. Williams hasn't done anything since his suspension. Hall's been very quiet. It's there is a way for you to win, Johnny.
Well, I'll put it this way: I'm quite happy if Hall went off on one because it certainly helped in the Orkney Bowl. But CD Lamb just appeared in the injury report about 10 minutes ago, so I'm not sure what it's about, but that became a bit a scary one.
I think that's about Prescott being out and the record that they've got. I think that's what that's about. That's I'm done, chaps. See you next year.
Who's he got on the bench if he doesn't play? Oh, he's got Waddle.
He's got Waddle there. He's got Deontay that I guess you can roll the dice with. I mean, Deontay Johnson's there's going to be a week that comes along where he gets the targets and he gets the catches and he gets his points. He is going to have that at least 1 week like that this year. you just can't
week
put them in on
16.
the off chance, until
It'll
it
be
actually comes along.
it'll be week 17 when it's the divisional finals. The conference final.
Maybe, I mean, but it's
But he's got
certainly is going to
he's
have a
picked
big
up
week at
Dawson
some point.
Knox. So obviously he's playing Dawson Knox, who's a starter this week because Kincaid's out.
Of course, yeah, that's a good move, actually. Yeah,
That's
of
a
course,
good
so
pickup,
it is.
Alan.
And I
He
do
also
think dropping Ferguson now is the right thing to do. I'm totally out on the Dallas offense apart from Dowdle.
he also picked up Geno Smith, so I asked him if he was going to play Geno Smith. So obviously I just dropped him. Would you play him against me this week to see if Geno could beat me? But he's not going to do it, the chicken.
Oh, did you drop Gino? Did you? Fair enough. Yeah,
Well,
well, he's not going to
I
play him
needed to
over
pick up
Burrow.
another player, so I picked up Veli as a drop of Geno. I also dropped
And
Fryermuth and picked up somebody else. Can't remember who the hell it was, but
yeah, no,
yeah,
he's not going
so
to drop Burrow for Gino. But Burrow's bye week's coming up. That's why he's got Gino in,
that's
because
why I've
Burrow's
done it.
bye
Yeah.
week's next week. Yeah.
I know, but I was trying to goad them into it and say, oh, come on, you want to play Gino, it's up against me, and that bastard's not going to do it. Like,
No, he's not going to do it. I wouldn't do it either.
I know,
But
it would be
yeah, I
funny if he
mean,
did.
it's all so tight. It's all so tight, and there's so many teams that can start. As I say, there's 13 teams that are still got mega stuff to play for, and 2 are in. There's now only 6. Well, I would say 5 playoff spots now, because let's include Sean and the ones that are in already. So the 5 playoff spots left to play for, but many teams can still snag them. As I say, you look at Doug and I at the 6 and 4 there and think, yeah, 2 favourites to get in, but we've got to go and play each other. We've got to play each other. We've got to play Sean. We've got to play Grote. So we've got a tough run in, and could easily lose all of them. In which case, it opens the thing right up. Alan
But
could
it's
easily
just,
lose all 4 of his last games and open it right up. So there's plenty. All the 4 and 6s are well in the hunt.
yeah. You got to mind, me and Alan have got to play each other. We both have to play the number
Exactly.
1 seed
Exactly. So
against teams
there's
that can't
losses to
score.
be had there as well. Chris, Joe and Tartan Bears, Mark and Colton Badley Jets, who've got to play each other. Whoever wins those games, the winners of those games, and Batman's boobies who've got to play. The winners of those games are going to be the one that gets himself into contention, and the ones above are going to be eating each other alive. So there are going to be teams losing games up there, so everything could turn around. It's wide open, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here. But with 4 weeks to go, it's the final lap. It's time to start winning games. Big points and losses aren't enough anymore. It's quite often I'll sit here and they'll say, it's all right. Or you scored over 100 points. It's just a loss. Shake it off, move on. Not now. Everyone's a prisoner now.
It's just to get that 0.01 point more than the other team, just to get enough to win, and that's it. As I proved
That's
last
it.
week.
That's all you need to do. You only need to beat the team you're playing. That's the thing, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
And you're sitting here at 3:30, 4:45 in the morning saying, "Don't throw the cup, don't throw the cup." And he didn't, so it worked. Sorry, Graham.
It worked, yeah. It worked, and you got your win, and you got yourself still in it.
I know, it's pretty scary how bad the team it is, but
But
still
yeah,
being in it.
I look forward to seeing how the games go tomorrow night. It's all very interesting. As I say, I've got a game that I've got to fancy my chances against Mark. And if I can get the win, then that'll give me that boost going into the divisional games, and I'm sure everyone's looking on it that way as well, with the divisional games to come.
Well, it's a good week for me because the Hibs can't get beat, Arsenal can't get beat, and the Giants can't get beat, and Scotland won. So there you go. Right,
yeah,
I'm just going to stop now. That's it.
Johnny, time to quit. Time to quit.
All I want to do now is I want to win the Orkney Bowl game. That's it.
And that's you done. Aye, that's it. Bedtime. Excellent. Well, good luck everyone this week, apart from Doug.
Apart from Doug, and
And
we'll see you
we'll see
next
you
week.
next week.